Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of
It's About Time.
Dave, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Where are we going on Saturday?
My house.
Well,
Afterwards.
of course we're going to your house. That's
We're going
true.
into New York for the watch convention.
Wait a minute, we're going into New York for the watch convention? Which watch convention are we going into New York for?
What's it called?
Do you remember or no?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, Drew, help him out
The
here.
NYC Watch Show.
Oh,
yearly
okay.
watch show.
So this is going to be Watch Time New York 2018.
And he's going in brown pants.
No,
Inside joke.
Inside joke, you guys don't get about. We had it with dinner tonight. Anyways, so before we get into this episode, this is going to be a little preview episode. We're going to talk about a little bit about what we're going to do this weekend, and we're also going to discuss a little bit of news about Breitling that released today. So, anyways, what's on the wrist today? So, if you guys watched my last episode, and I know we're kind of like, we're probably going to get to 100, and then it's going to, I don't know, whatever.
Oh no! This episode is a combo of this and the watch show, so this will be spliced together, guys. Just realize that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
I kind of like that.
Yeah. So we're just gonna splice this one together.
So
with the watch
if you
show.
guys had seen my last video, you guys know or kind of don't know the next watch that I'm gonna have. But until that comes, not till mid next year, it's still the Hamilton that's on the wrist. I actually just reset it on Sunday. I just have a habit of resetting it, you know, every like 2 weeks. But because we did it premature, and you guys saw the results of the video, did you guys know the results of the video?
We gave you the results of the video.
Yeah. Just want to make sure you guys saw it and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
We should actually do a follow up to that too.
Actually, Dave actually has a follow up. I just did his Oris regulator right now, which he currently has on. After another week, now after 2 weeks, it's still 14 seconds off. So it actually leveled out the entire second week at 0. It was 14 seconds fast the first week, and it now has leveled out at 0 the second week. Which goes to show you that, like we said in the beginning.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, he's leveled out. The slightest temperature factors, all these other things we were talking about last episode, affects a watch. It can slow it down.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
And how you wear it, too.
I'm a test because I have the atomic clock out now. And
yeah, he's right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so
anyways, Hamilton on my wrist, Oris on Dave's wrist, and on Drew's wrist. I'm actually a little taken aback by this watch.
The Ball World Timer, which I've brought out before. I've done a watch review on.
Oh, well, I was going to say, we did the episode on that one already.
Sure. I've done a watch open box review on this sucker. And what we were just discussing before was the fact that the tritium tubes in Ball, they're known, them and Smith & Wesson, I do believe, are the ones that currently use the tritium
gun
tubes.
Company?
Yes, it is. And they actually make watches with tritium tubes. And those are the two right now that are using them the most, and Luminox as well. But
what's the accuracy on that watch?
This is about 1 to 2 seconds a day fast. So
that's terrible.
Within chronometer standards. And
I think you should take it to matter surgery.
Well, we were actually discussing was the fact that the tritium tubes in this watch aren't as bright as you think in an everyday life. Actually, light really doesn't fuel this as much as you think.
I was actually we just literally took it into the back in the darkest place of the basement.
Yep.
You couldn't even read that. It was barely, I don't know.
You could read it, and your eyes have to get adjusted to it. But it's not as bright as you think. Ball or any of these other tritium tubes, they may last for 25 years. But light doesn't fuel it like it does lume, your regular super lume.
It's supposed to store it.
It stores it over a very long period of time, but it does it at a much lower rate. So think of it as more of one of these stars, not a big giant star. This is more of one of those little white dwarfs that store the energy for a long period of time, but they're not very bright. So the common misconception with Ball is the fact, it's so bright all the time. It's not. It's just not the way the brand, based on what the tritium tubes that they use, that's just how it's designed.
Anyways,
so
getting into this weekend a little bit. So besides going to Dave's house, which is absolutely correct, we're going into New York City, Gotham Hall. Friday night they're doing an exclusive dinner event meetup, but that's currently sold out. On Saturday, you can still go online to Watch Time New York and purchase tickets for the show. $39 for an all-day pass, not bad. And they're going to have, I believe it's around 30 brands.
30 brands, yes.
Some independents, some really well known. You know, like the independents. Let's see. We have Fiona Kruger's a new one this year. Like RGM is another big one. Voodoo Lanin.
JJ Lecoute.
They're going to have JJ Lecoute there. They will, absolutely. That's a big known brand. Omega, big known brand. Mont Blanc. Breguet is a pretty known brand from, the, I believe, the Swatch Group. Bell and Ross, Bao Mercier. Grand Seiko is actually there. They've been coming up like crazy lately. Vacheron Constantin, Raymond Weil.
Chrono Swiss there again this year?
Chrono Swiss is still there. G-Shock is like the nastiest brand that they're going to have. Zenith will be kind of cool. Romain Gaultier, another independent brand, who will be there, very interesting. Jacques Dross, David Thune. They make some... You guys are going to see the sickest watches you've ever seen in your lives.
If you guys remember the episode last year, we were at the show, and we focused more on the lectures.
Yeah.
We're not going to be doing that this year. This year we're actually going to have a little different strategy. We're going to show you more of the brands that are there and focus more in on the independent brands that you wouldn't get to see in everyday life.
Correct.
So we're going to be see if we can get some interviews with the actual watchmakers of these brands. That would be cool.
What's going on this year is that there was an interesting... Now, basically in the watch news in my app, that's pretty much been the news all week. Has been like, Watch Time New York, because it's going to be the largest, technically the largest watch show that's going to be going on this weekend, and it only happens, once a year.
And it's a great event, too.
Why is it a great event, Dave? That's a great point to bring up. Why is it such a great event? What do you like most about it?
Yeah, because Jared and I live and breathe watches. So for somebody that is interested in watches, that has gotten more interested over the years, what makes it a great event to you?
Because you were there last year for the first time.
I was there last year for the first time,
Yeah.
I like just seeing, I actually did like the lectures and getting, their perspective on everything, the experts, and all the different brands and the different designs and the functionalities of each watch.
It really makes you give an appreciation for how these things are made.
It gives you an appreciation for how it's made and how technical and everything. The watch designers.
It's just cool when you go into an arena like this as a watch enthusiast, right?
It is.
You could go into an Omega store, you can go into a Breitling store, you can go into a Rolex store, but when you go into something like this,
it's not the same feeling.
No, because you're seeing, first of all, so many rare watches.
Firsthand,
You get to try on pretty much any of the watches that you want. You get to ask the people who made the watches firsthand and the brand representatives about them. It's very rare when you get this many brands under one roof for a show, and they're exhibiting the latest watches from their collections.
Yeah, I think that's the really underrated part of the show, like Jared just said.
Absolutely.
I could actually try a $50,000 or $60,000 watch on my list. $100,000.
That's limited to like 5 pieces, no problem.
It's not like going out, to the mall and going to Macy's and trying on, will give me a brand that they have there. Boulevard. Okay. Yeah. These are some of the most intricate watches made in the world that you get not just to see. Like the Patek episode did very well for us.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. But we didn't get to try anything on. Okay, no. that was the missing link, I think, to that, because
we didn't even really try on any of these watches last year.
No, and we're going to do that this year because I want to try this shit on. And to be honest with you, last year I was just so focused on showing everybody what was at the show.
I remember. Okay, so last year, I don't know if you guys remember this from the video, but I did want to bring. This may be a little bit of a long episode. I don't really care.
Part 1, so we have part 1 and part 2 of this episode.
But I remember last year, the most interesting was when we went around, we went to GLC, then I ran into one of the guys from the thing about, talking about Grand Seiko and stuff like that, but we were at the Omega boutique, and I remember there were so many different watches that you personally like, because I know your connection with Omega, because, it's the top in your, in your list. And at the end of the day, I remember you told the brand representative. Now, we were at that booth probably the longest.
We were.
Probably like 10, 15 minutes, give or take, maybe more.
20.
And I remember that Drew was trying on, well, not trying on, but really, he was really looking at that. I mean, to buy it. I mean, honestly, not close. There maybe, but,
I was close. And I almost bought that same watch again in Bermuda.
I remember what he said, and this was such a good point, and even the representative who was there agreed with you. This watch is like almost there, but it's like the little, they could just do this one thing differently. It would be a home run. the representative even agreed.
Great. And
It
my
just
exact point of what it needed. And, yeah, I mean, because they took something away to bring you more accuracy.
great brand. Okay, I mean,
Fantastic. Hey,
great
guys,
brand.
because of that show, it fueled me to get the 8500. Okay, that led me to actually get the 8500 that we saw a couple
Yeah, 'cause
episodes
I think
ago.
that one did have
You
the,
did, and because I was able to look and see the constellations there. It started getting things in my brain. Did I want another constellation? And did I want to try this movement that they just kept talking about? And I did, and it has not been.
It's just that the one watch that you saw there just didn't quite have it. But
it missed one
but then
thing.
That's when you're gonna go, and you're gonna look for the one that you want, and that's the beauty of the
Yep.
show. Like
It
you know,
puts ideas
like
in your head.
Dave, like you were saying,
Yes.
you love to go there. You love to listen to
Yes.
what the
Yep.
experts are saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How-
first-hand, yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Like how the watches are made. What kind of watches that they have out there. And listen,
And it gives you a different perspective once you hear from them, too.
it really does, because then they will educate you also
Exactly.
on what their offering is. Oh, we have this movement. Wait, do you have it in this watch? Well, it may be coming. Sometimes they don't even tell you, but you have to go and do the research because they want you to buy the watch that they have there.
We went to that Omega.
That was the
boutique,
most interesting
and
stop.
it was the Speedmaster, and I remember the
Yeah.
exact watch I was looking at. It was a light blue with this dark blue dot, and I went, "Oh my God! If only it did this." And it fueled me, and I saw that exact watch in Bermuda, and I tried it on, and I loved it, and I was this close
How
to
come you didn't
buying
buy
it. And it was $4,100, and I was that close to buying it. And you know what held
Brand
me
new.
back at the end? Brand freaking new. And you know what held me back in the end? And it wasn't the chronograph. It was the fact that the date wasn't a quick set
It wasn't a quick set.
like you would think it would be.
Hmm.
Normally, how I like my watches is I pull out the stem
So
and
it
I
was
quick
a
set the date.
Speedmaster. that had a
Speedmaster. You know how you
chronograph
quick set the
and a
date on a Speedmaster like that? There's a button over here, but you have to have one of those. You have to have a pin or a paper clip, and you have to keep nudging it in to get the correct date.
So that's a version of a quick set date, just not with the crown.
Right, and I couldn't take that. That was the one thing that I said, no!
Seems like it could be a little annoying.
That's annoying because
If
I
God
take...
forbid something does get damaged with that, then forget
But
it.
it's not even that. I wear so many watches, okay? When I set a watch, I want it to be quick. I don't want to have a paper clip with me every time to set the date.
In defense, and I'm going to say this in defense, it's like your ethos. In defense.
Yeah, but that's a triple date.
Right. But I'm just saying in defense a little bit.
Sure, but that's a triple date.
But
Everything
you don't
has a
want
fun.
to spend I think the point is you don't want to spend $4,100 to have to push it on the side. You want to be able to do it with the crown.
Exactly.
So.
And that was the one thing. But I would have never been able, unless you can feel it and hold it and touch it. I would have known that. If I would have gone on eBay and bought that watch, I wouldn't have known that.
You probably would have returned it anyway.
I would have, but I would have spent the shipping cost to return it. I would have spent the time and the effort and the insurance and all the other crap. Whereas I got to try it out and say, "Oh, damn, great watch, but thank you very much," and that was the end of that. That's the great thing about the show. Anything we like, we can try on like that. And it may
Do whatever you
lead
want.
you to buy something down the road, or it may put a thought in your head that you never even had before because you never even thought about it. We were at Chrono Swiss. That's why I asked about Chrono Swiss earlier. And they really have a lot of nice jump hours. The main problem with Chrono Swiss was I found them too
Huge watches.
expensive.
Well,
No,
they're
actually they have
huge.
42 millimeter.
I
But
think they're huge.
but
Like on average 43, 44.
you can get Omegas, you can get Oruses, the jump hour is much cheaper than you can Chrono Swiss. And I said that was
Doesn't
my
have
one
the
problem.
date in Chrono Swiss.
No, they don't have dates either. Only Gerald Genta did, which is the one I had. So that was the one thing that Chrono Swiss
Now,
was missing.
$1 million question. Did we get a preview to what's going to be on your wrist on Saturday?
I'll let you guess. It's actually, they're not even going to guess it. I bet you they don't even guess what's on my wrist on Saturday. It's that because it doesn't really have to do with the show.
No, it doesn't have to.
No, but it doesn't, based on what else we have going on. So,
You mean a Halloween party?
yeah.
Alright, so we have a Halloween party too. that
Yeah,
night.
so it's got to make sense because I'm not going home. But normally, yes, it would have been something else, but it won't be because we have the
Interesting.
Halloween party as well.
Well, so anyways, getting back to the watch show for just a quick second. So there's apparently 5 extremely rare timepieces we're going to find this year, and part of our goal is to hunt these down and put these on video, to ask them about these watches, because there's going to be a lot of buzz around them.
Right.
But we want to be the ones to, hey, we want to broadcast this on our channel. So one of the first ones is the Ateliers de Monaco Jet de Genève, whatever it is.
No, that's, you should really take French.
I know, right? 20 or less pieces made in the world. Interesting. So anyways, we're gonna hopefully get that one. This is just like a little preview of what it is. I don't know if you guys could see that at all. Pretty small. Next one is going to be the Grand Seiko US exclusive limited edition, 20 pieces in platinum. I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? I know Drew's opinion on Grand Seiko. They actually hold value.
They do.
Extremely, extremely well.
I still wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
A lot of people
But
disagree.
he's right. He's right.
Yeah.
They do hold value, and I'm not
I would
disagreeing
too.
with that. But I still wouldn't touch it with a 10. At the end of the day, it's a
that
Seiko.
will be one of the hottest booths this year. In my
Grand
opinion.
Seiko?
Yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
no.
Yep. You'll see. Day, cents per month. Okay. So with the spring drive movement, which makes Grand Seiko kind of a little bit of appealing, it has a timekeeping accuracy of plus minus 0.5 seconds per day, plus minus 10 seconds per month. That's pretty decent. That's not bad.
Kind of like the 8500. That's mine was
Ish.
0.5 seconds.
Ish.
Point.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what mine
Now,
was.
the other this will be one of the coolest things for me to see. One of my favorite brands. I mean, if I won the lottery tonight, yeah, I guess I would buy this one.
Oh, that's right. Everybody get your tickets.
Well, it's only up to 1.6 billion. That's it.
It's more than that now.
No, 1. I think so.
It was 1.6 on Saturday. I don't think people actually went to the store and bought
Anyways,
tickets.
we're gonna check that before we get off this
Should
episode.
we have the numbers?
Probably.
Well, release them to the public.
I know I should. I want them for us though.
That's
Anyways,
nice, but-
so the Grubel 4C Double Balancier Sapphire. This one, if I can, I want to put on my wrist. I want to put actually, and
He's gonna take a Facebook shot with that.
literally, it's like almost like a wet dream to me. It's just crazy. The next one is the Jacques Droz Lady 8 Flower Mother of Pearl. They have 8 pieces worldwide with this one.
Jesus, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so it's, you know, these are just some of the pieces that.
They may let you breathe on that.
Oh, the RGM William Penn, 10 pieces, 6 already sold. This reminds me of JLC.
Very,
By far,
Oh,
very
wow.
JLC-ish. Just a very, very cool piece. So we're hoping to find these particular watches at the show. We want to show you guys the rare pieces. We want to maybe have Dave be like, hey, Dave, from this brand, which one do you like the most? Try it out. The brands let you try it on. That's the whole point of it. You know, they want you there. They want you to try things on. We're just looking forward to bringing you guys the second year version of this. Dave really liked the champagne last year. That's one of his highlights too. It's gonna be
that shit.
it's gonna be a
I love
drench
the
fest
champagne.
this year because it's gonna be pouring rain like crazy.
Yeah, that's
right.
But we're gonna really focus on the brands this year. Focus on all the watches that they have to offer. Maybe ask the brands like, what's the best seller? You know, what's the brand direction for the next few years? Maybe talk to some of the heads of the brands themselves. Just have a good time.
Yeah, we're just looking forward to it.
Yep.
And Jared has a lottery number. Let's give those to you right now.
Oh yeah.
2-in-1 special.
Oh yeah. I definitely do.
Okay, get them up there.
I'm curious to.
We're definitely looking forward to it. And like I said, this is part 1 of 2, so I'll post
Yep.
this as part 1. And
Very excited for
part
that.
2 obviously will be at the show, and we will again take you through it like we did last year.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have some fantastic results like we did last year.
Yeah, they're saying
And-
$1.6 billion
Well, when do they draw the lottery numbers?
tonight,
What time?
like 11 o'clock.
Oh, then I can't get them the numbers now. Shit. Well, so
Yeah.
much for that. But anyway, guys, we look forward to seeing you at the show. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, send us your messages.
Comments,
Comment.
whatever. You know, let us know if there's anything particular you want to see at the show. Love to show it to you, any brands in particular.
Yeah, do that now because we can't do it obviously if we don't see it before the show.
And we're not going to be like doing Facebook Live
No.
at the show. It's just going to be a regular video.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we could maybe do a little live thing.
Maybe
from there.
we're gonna be busy filming it though.
Yeah, we're gonna be
so
really
Yeah.
busy.
we want to try to
filming.
get some interviews with like the watch
I think
makers and stuff
filming's
like
better.
that.
Yeah.
And
But anything that you guys want to say?
definitely let us know before so we can mark it on our list and bring it to you.
Let us know which shade of brown you'd like to see Dave's pants be
Oh
on
my
Saturday.
God, that's so hot. So please, guys, and
Inside
again,
joke.
thanks for joining us, Dave. Why don't you take us out tonight?
I like that idea.
Well, stay tuned for another episode of
It's about time! Can't even get the room.